What happens if I miss my flight on Delta? Delta handles missed flight situations on a case-by-case basis, so customers should speak to an agent at the airport to explain their situation. Then, Delta will determine if it will rebook them, according to a Delta spokesperson. Delta VDO have a flat tire rule. A customer who in good faith arrives at the airport due to unforeseen delay should speak to an agent. We handle each on a case-by-case basis as every customer's situation can differ. But many times we can get them on the next available flight. Going to miss your flight? If you miss your flight, your entire itinerary, including return trip, may be cancelled per Delta Airlines Contract of Carriage, U.S. General Rule, 14.c, page 13, International General Rule, 60.c.3, page 29. If your plans change and you are unable to make your flight, please contact Delta Reservations immediately to review your options and update your itinerary. At the airport, please see a Delta representative. Call Delta Reservations, 800-221-1212 or 888-217-4210. The procedure for dealing with a missed flight on Delta Airlines depends on the reason for missing the flight and the type of ticket you have. Here are some possible scenarios and actions. If you miss your flight due to your own fault, such as arriving late at the airport or forgetting your documents, you may be subject to a no-show fee and a fare difference if you want to rebook your flight. However, Delta Airlines may waive these fees and allow you to stand by for the next available flight if you contact them within 2 hours of your scheduled departure time. This is known as the flat tire rule and it is applied on a case-by-case basis. If you miss your flight due to a delay or cancellation caused by Delta Airlines, such as bad weather, mechanical issues, or crew problems, Delta Airlines will rebook you on the next available flight to your destination at no extra charge. You may also be entitled to compensation or assistance, such as vouchers, hotel accommodations, or refunds, depending on the length and reason of the delay or cancellation. If you miss your flight due to a delay or cancellation caused by factors outside of Delta Airlines' control, such as security issues, airport operations, or government regulations, Delta Airlines will try to rebook you on the next available flight, but they are not obligated to do so. You may also have to pay a change fee and a fare difference if you want to rebook your flight. You will not be eligible for any compensation or assistance from Delta Airlines in this case. Understanding Delta's missed flight policy. When travel plans go awry and you fail to make your flight on time, knowing your options can ease the stress of the situation. Delta Airlines has policies in place for travelers who miss their flights, aimed at helping them reach their final destination with minimal hassle. If you, unfortunately, miss your flight with Delta, here's what you need to know about their missed flight policy. Immediate actions. If you realize you are going to miss your flight, contact Delta as soon as possible. The sooner you inform them, the better chances you have of rescheduling without additional fees. Delta may offer a flat tire rule, allowing a grace period if you arrive at the airport shortly after your flight's departure, but this is at the discretion of the gate agent. Rebooking options. Delta typically allows passengers to rebook on the next available flight without paying a change fee, though this is subject to availability and fare differences. If there are no other flights available on the same day, Delta may accommodate you on a flight the next day. Handling cancellations and changes. Use Delta Airlines online self-service tools to help you change or cancel your flight, rebook a delayed or cancelled flight, or upgrade your seat. These tools are designed to make the process quick and user-friendly. No-show policy. If you do not notify Delta before missing your flight, you may be considered a no-show, which could result in the forfeiture of your ticket's value. Travelers with refundable tickets may have more flexibility in terms of applying the value of their ticket to a future travel date. Rule 240 applies to all Delta Airlines flight delays, cancellations or misconnections as a result of a schedule irregularity, or 2. A force majeure event. Schedule irregularity. Delta Airlines defines a schedule irregularity as a delay in the departure or arrival of a Delta Airlines flight that results in a misconnection, or a flight cancellation or omission of a scheduled stop, or any other delay or interruption of a Delta Airlines flight, or a substitution of equipment to a different class of service, or a schedule change that requires you to be rerouted. If your flight is delayed, cancelled, or you miss a connecting Delta Airlines flight, due to a schedule irregularity, and Delta Airlines must confirm you on their next flight, on which space is available, at no additional cost. 2. If there is an alternate Delta Air flight that will arrive at your destination earlier than the alternate you have been offered, you have the right to be confirmed on this Delta Airlines flight at no additional cost, even if first class space is all that is available. 3. If the alternate Delta Airlines flight is not acceptable to you, you have the right to be confirmed on the flight of a different airline at no additional cost. 4. If there is an alternate different airline flight that will arrive at your destination earlier than any alternate flight you have been offered, you have the right to be confirmed on this flight at no additional cost, even if first class space is all that is available. 5. If no alternate flight, on Delta Airlines or a different airline, is acceptable to you, Delta Airlines must refund your money, even if you have a non-refundable ticket. Force majeure event. Delta Airlines defines a force majeure event as any conditions beyond Delta Airlines control, including weather, acts of God, civil commotion, wars, hostilities, strikes, labor-related disputes, government regulation, shortage of labor or fuel, or other facts not foreseen by Delta Airlines. If your flight is delayed, cancelled, or you miss a connection to a Delta Airlines flight due to a force majeure event, and this includes weather, Delta Airlines' only obligation is to refund your ticket. Delta Airlines will probably try to reroute you to an alternate flight, but according to Rule 240, they are not required to do this. What happens if you miss a Delta? If you missed your flight and the reason is genuine, you may board the next flight that is scheduled within the next 2 hours. If there is no flight scheduled on that particular date to the particular destination, you may be assigned the first flight to the same destination the next day. What happens if you miss a connecting flight Delta, depends on your specific situation. Missed connecting Delta flight due to airline. If the missed connection is the airline's fault, a delayed initial flight due to mechanical problems, for example, the airline should rebook you on the next available flight. If the next outbound flight is the following morning, the airline should either book you on another airline or provide accommodations and meals. But these arrangements are voluntary on the airline's part, they're not mandated by any law or regulation. Missed connecting Delta flight due to weather. If inclement weather leads to a missed connecting flight, the airline will help you rebook but likely won't offer any compensation for meals or accommodations. That said, it never hurts to ask. Travel insurance can be very useful in this type of situation, as it will often pay for expenses that an airline won't cover. Missing your Delta flight because of something within your control. If something within your control causes you to miss your connecting flight, you're essentially on your own. This could include mishaps like missing your first flight because you were sitting in traffic, booking too tight of a connection, or getting too distracted at the airport bookstore to hear your boarding announcement. The airline will almost certainly help you rebook, but it's under no obligation to do so, and you may have to pay a change fee, plus any applicable fare difference. But another part of being human is ingenuity, coming up with solutions that solve problems before they happen. Sign up for traffic alerts, if possible, and give yourself enough time to get to the airport. Book connections with enough time between them that you are not rushing and there's always the chance that something else could happen to delay you. It's like the old saying, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. Set your phone's alarm to go off at least 15 minutes, or in increments, before your scheduled flight is due to depart. Doing so will remind you to watch your time. Book a new flight, but keep in mind there might be a change fee plus any fare difference. Also, airlines don't assume responsibility if you booked part of your trip on a different airline than your connecting airline. It's still your responsibility to arrive on time. It's recommended to call the connecting airline you use and inquire about their procedure for missed flight due to the fault of another airline and what they recommend to decrease the chance of a missed flight. What if your flight is delayed, cancelled, or you miss a connecting Delta Airlines flight? Delta Airlines must confirm you on their next flight, on which space is available, at no additional cost. If there is an alternate Delta Air flight that will arrive at your destination earlier than the alternatives you have been offered, you have the right to be confirmed on this Delta Airlines flight at no additional cost, even if first-class space is all that is available. If the alternate Delta Airlines flight is not acceptable to you, you have the right to be confirmed on the flight of a different airline at no additional cost. If there is an alternate different airline flight that will arrive at your destination earlier than any alternate flight you have been offered, you have the right to be confirmed on this flight at no additional cost, even if first-class space is all that is available. If no alternate flight, on Delta Airlines or a different airline, is acceptable to you, Delta Airlines must refund your money, even if you have a non-refundable ticket. Conclusion: missing a flight can be an upsetting experience, but airlines like Delta offer policies to help mitigate the situation. Always be proactive in communication with Delta and check out their online self-service tools for the most efficient resolution. Remember, each situation can differ based on individual circumstances, and for the most accurate advice regarding missed flights, it is best to consult directly with Delta Airlines or refer to the latest policy updates on their official website. Thanks for watching.